Welcome to a special 4th of July edition of Life's a Garden. What's up, everybody? And happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day. Also, it's episode 4. Who'd have thought? Coincidence? Absolutely. Did I set this up? No way. It just so happened that the 4th episode lands on the 4th of July. How about that? What an awesome coincidence. Because you know what? 4th of July is actually one of my favorite holidays. It always has been, man. Don't really know why. I mean, it's just fun watching shit blow up. But, I really don't do anything special every year. Usually we just hang out, barbecue, and watch fireworks. But there's just something about the 4th. It's the summer, you're hanging out with family. There's just something about the 4th that's always been one of my favorite holidays. So, I love this holiday. And I love that this episode fell right on the 4th, episode 4. And you know what? I figure, since this is a special edition episode, and we gotta keep topping ourselves every week, we're gonna do something that I didn't think I was gonna do, but we're gonna break some rules. We're not just bending the rules. Oh, we're breaking them. Because for the 4th of July episode, the Independence Day episode, we're getting political. Because 4th of July is all about America. So I figured if there was any time to talk about it, this would be the one. So we're going to get political up in here. As much as I hate that, and if you watched episode 1, I said I wasn't going to get political ever. And I'm going to say this right now. If I have a guest on here and we start talking some politics, because I got some friends that are a lot more political than others, sure, we can have a political discussion. But for myself, I'm not the most informed person. So I'm not the right person to talk about this stuff. And that's why I try my best to avoid it. However, I do have some critical points that I would like to share. Hopefully, they will influence you to look at the political spectrum a little bit differently. Which is it's a hard thing to even comprehend, I know. Because we're all just so wrapped up in our political ideals, which is stupid. I'll tell you that right now. All of you out there, if you're listening and you're one of those people who is so just like your political opinions and your political views are what define you, change. Because that is ridiculous. Be a person. Don't be a political party. Okay? So, first off, my initial thoughts on politics, okay? Here they go. Unfortunately, there are fairly important and, let's say, that unfortunately we have to live with them, okay? Unfortunately, that's just how it is. As much as I hate them, they do dictate a lot of our lives, and they do have an impact on what happens with us. But overall, now, here's the point I want to make. Here's the thing I want to say that hopefully will resonate with you and perhaps give you some perspective and something to think about. Now, personally, I identify myself as an independent. That's not how it always was, okay? Growing up, my grandma and most of pretty much a high majority of my family were Democrats, or are Democrats. Also, coming out of high school, of course, most people coming out of high school or into the college phase are typically liberal and Democrat. And then the Democrats decided to become the party of nonsense and foolishness. So I decided that wasn't for me. I remember a time legitimately thinking that the Democratic Party stood for something and was like something that I could be proud to say that's something I was a part of at a certain time. And then they became the party of craziness, of absolute lunacy. So that drove me more to the other side. Not necessarily to the right, but I've just decided I'm so much of a middle ground person in the political spectrum. I'm about as middle as you could possibly get, because there are things on the left that I agree with, and there are things on the right that I agree with. There's things on the left that I disagree with, and there are things on the right that I disagree with. Now, here's what I want to say. I think that everyone should identify themselves as an independent, and I will tell you why. Okay? First of all, the biggest problem that this country faces is the fact that we're always clashing. The biggest division in this country comes from the political spectrum. Okay? And it's because you're either Democrat or Republican. And if you're one of those, you cannot agree with the other one. It is just forbidden. We cannot see eye to eye. And you're stuck in this team mentality where we're on one team or the other. Okay? You need to realize, all of us need to realize, we are on one team. We are Team America. America! Fuck yeah! Right? Team America. We all have to live here together, okay? And in order to do that, of course, we don't all see eye to eye. We don't all have the same ideals. But we have to compromise. And we have to come to agreements, whether we like them or not. Find solid ground. Find a middle ground in so many arenas. But we're not willing to do that, because you're either on one team or the other. It's like in sports. If you ask me to become a Raiders fan, oh, absolutely not. I'm not, no. I would never. But this isn't sports, okay? This is life. This is decisions and policies that affect our real life. So, don't be on a team, okay? Be on the independent team. Now, here's my thought, okay? And let me, first of all, here's one thing I want to point out, okay? I truly believe the majority of us, the majority of the people are more middle right or middle left. They're closer to the middle spectrum anyway. Everything you see in the news and everything that's like plastered all over social media, those are radical lefts and radical rights. It's always the farthest spectrum, and it's always the crazy ones that get the headlines. So, I believe, and I think everybody should understand, that the majority of people are more toward the middle. Now, they lean toward one side. Sure. And perhaps I am more lean toward one side. Personally, I find myself to be very much in the middle. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats, and I have a lot of friends that are Republicans. And that's okay. And guess what? I can be civil with all of them. I can have a conversation with all of them without killing each other. Isn't it great? Isn't that the kind of world that we should probably live in? Yeah, I think so. Now, here is another reason I think we should all identify ourselves as independents. Now, an independent, to me, what I think of when I think of being an independent is just that. I'm independent. I have my own views. I decide for myself. I see the world as it is, and I see, I take in the information that's given to me, and I make my own decisions. I don't let a party decide for me. Now, for so many people who identify themselves as one or the other, let's just say a Republican, okay? Let's say you're a Republican, okay? You identify yourself as a Republican. You're pro-gun, you're anti-abortion, you're Christian or whatever, and you have so many boxes checked in the arena of Republican. But let's just say you do believe in climate change. You believe in global warming. Well, so many people that are associated with one team or the other decide, like, they're pressured into having to check every box that makes you that party. So therefore, they feel obligated and pressured into subscribing to all that. So then they just start disbelieving in global warming. Same on the other spectrum. Let's say you have a Democrat who believes in a lot of democratic ideals, but they're pro-gun, which there are plenty of those Democrats. However, so many of them are pressured into believing and being forced to feel like they have to be anti-gun, because if you're not with us, you're against us. That's the team mentality. However, as an independent, I can fully believe that we have the right to bear arms. I decided that because I made my own decision. I didn't have a party decide that for me. I also decided that a woman has the right to choose. I have ideas on both sides. My God. I have spiritual beliefs. However, I also believe in science. As an independent, you immediately get the freedom to choose what you believe in. You're not forced into, because there's all these, the stereotypes of being a Democrat or Republican. And so therefore you have to check all those boxes. You're automatically roped into those ideals, which is foolish. Now, the other thing that I think is very important, probably the most important thing when it comes to identifying yourself as an independent. You immediately, you are more likely to assess and evaluate candidates based on true policies, and you're going to identify the right people as candidates. You're not just going to say, oh, they're a Democrat, I guess I'm voting for them. Oh, he's a Republican, I guess I'm voting for him, because that's what I am. I can sit here and say, I can point out the flaws in a candidate or a president, but I can also be like, look, I can be rational in certain things. I don't have to just be like immediately like everything they do is bad or everything they do is amazing. You can actually sit there like, okay, so I'm an independent, right? I think there are candidates on both sides that are very good candidates. I can say that because I evaluate them based on their credentials, based on the type of person they are, based on what they bring to the table and their policies, their actual policies. Isn't that crazy that there are some of us out here that still listen to political policy and not just, oh, they slept with this person or they did this when they were 14 or all their past scandals, or they're a racist, or they're a sexist, or they're a xenophobe. Policies. Those also count, believe it or not. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the other stuff is trivial, but that's just what we always seem to focus on anymore. Okay. Those are my bullet points as to why you should be an independent. Now, let's talk about how completely fucked off the other two parties are. That's your final reason. The final reason that you need to be an independent and like I said, even if you lean more toward one side, the right or the left, whether you lean towards one, just call yourself an independent, because you are more likely to have the freedom to subscribe to whatever ideals and policies you want, that you in your heart want, not what your party and your team decides that you get to, that the ideals that they decide that you're a part of. Also, like I said, you can evaluate candidates based on their credentials and based on their policies, both on the right and the left. Like I said, there's people on both sides that I really like, and there's people on both sides that I really don't like. So unlike, okay, being one way or the other, and there's somebody in the party who's bad, but you have to defend them because they're part of your team. No, you don't have that as an independent. You get to choose. Now, let's talk about, again, how fucked off both parties have become. Because, that's, like I said, that's your last thing to be an independent. Because both parties are completely fucked off. So, and as I said before, I used to consider myself a Democrat. And then they turned crazy. Let me just say this, okay? And actually, first of all, if you need any verification that both parties are completely in the toilet and just gone and done, look at who you have running for president. Joe Biden versus Donald Trump. These are the people we have decided are the two best options to run our country. Two complete imbeciles. Two complete fuck-offs. That's who we've decided. There are 350 million people in this country, yet we've decided that those are the two best among us. The embodiment. Those two are the embodiment of the political downfall. That is the Republicans and the Democrats. Let me just say this to some of these, to the left-wingers out there. And don't get me wrong, I'm going to go both ways on this. But we're going to start on the left. You're going to tell me that you're going to cancel my guy, Chris D'Elia, for allegations of sexual grooming and the targeting of underage girls, which, by the way, has yet to be proven, and all the evidence shows otherwise. But nonetheless, you're gonna crucify him and label him as guilty. It's already happened. That's what the left media and the left and all of the Hollywood fuckers decided already. Yet, you're gonna make Joe Biden your nominee. The hair-sniffing, finger-sucking, sexual allegation-having candidate. That's who you want as your candidate. And on the other side, you have the pussy grabber. That's our president. The left, I honestly cannot begin to just speak upon what a toilet show the left has become. And honestly, I'm gonna say it, I seriously enjoy ragging on the left way more, only because they are so self-righteous. And I'm not talking about the moderate left. Okay? Moderate left are fairly rational people, just like moderate rights. I'm talking the extreme spectrums on both sides, which is the ones that everybody talks about, and everybody just assumes when you say Democrat that they're the far left Democrats or the far right Republicans when you say Republican. Most of us are moderate. I am the middle, and I think we should all do that. Back to what I was saying. I love watching the left crash and burn because they are all just so self-righteous, and it is just so when they crash and burn. And I cannot, I just, like I said, I can't say enough about how fucked off they've become. And I used to be a part of it. And then you have the right, who freak out when a couple of football players kneel as a protest, as a peaceful protest, and then you have this eruption of crazy, like everyone just loses their fucking minds because a couple of guys knelt as a peaceful protest to something that came full circle, and they all ended up having egg on their faces now. It's just one big dog and pony show. It's all about what's hot, you know? Here's the thing, okay? We've come to the point now where these are the political issues. We can make a virus a political issue somehow. We can make race a political issue when really the majority of people completely understand that racism is bad. But it's just, we've immediately decided that the Republicans are the racist party and the left are not. Even though I believe the left is way more racist in so many ways. We'll get in, like, I'm not even going to get into that. But, yes, you're right. There are racist people. But the majority of this nation, I truly believe, understands that racism is bad. But we've decided that racism, sexism, religion, and a virus are political issues. Are you fucking kidding me? Remember when foreign policy used to be a political issue? Oh, that's way down the list now. All these social issues are that. They're social issues. They should not be contributed or identified with a political party. Come on, man. And okay, if you're one of these, if you're on either side of the spectrum, if you're either a right or a left, and everything that comes out of your mouth hole is something that you saw or read or from a news article or a news channel, a news station, go fuck yourself. If you're a media puppet political person, go fuck yourself. Because let me tell you now, the media are the biggest liars of them all. You know why? Because they're just going to tell you what they want you to believe. Either side, the right or the left. They're not going to tell you the full story. They're going to tell you the parts of the story that side with their ideals. And therefore, you fall right into those ideals. And those are the ones, and you're just a puppet to their talking points. And then you go out there and you reiterate those things without even knowing what you're saying. So if you're one of those people who gets all their information from Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, you are a cuck. And you can believe that. If all of your information comes from the Washington Post or PragerU, you are a cuck. Especially if you don't even know what you're talking about. If you're just reiterating the things you've heard on political news, get the fuck out of my face. Turn around and go fuck yourself, because you are the exact thing that I'm trying to tell you to not to be. You're just a puppet to the political party. You're just a mouthpiece, spreading all these things that you don't even, you're not making rational decisions for yourself. You're not actually thinking about the policies and what's happening. You're just being told and you're just running with it. Don't be that person. If you're that person, change. And if you're not that person, congratulations. You're smarter than some others. Me personally, I don't watch the news. Because guess what? If it's important enough, I'm going to hear about it. And I always do. And you know what not watching the news has done for me? It has made me so much happier. Because the news is just riddled with hate and violence and negativity and propaganda. That goes for social media as well. If you're somebody who gets all your information from just people on social media, you're an idiot. Be your own person. Be an individual. Be independent to the others. Be an independent person. Don't be on a team. Okay? Because guess what? It's Independence Day, not Team Day. Also, do you think any of these politicians give a fuck about you? No. Do you think any of these media rats give a fuck about you? No. All they care about is money. They don't see red or blue. They see green. So just remember that. The next time you think somebody is going to be your president and save the world and save you, they don't give a fuck about you. The only people who can make your life better is you. Remember that shit. Okay? I could literally just keep on going on. And oh my God, I went on a rant there. Holy shit. Woo! I could this is why I don't talk about this shit. And I don't know everything. Of course not. And yes, politics are important to life. But how about we be really political and not social about our politics? Make up your own mind, okay? That's all I'm saying. Think about that. I can't just keep repeating myself, okay? Just think about what I said. If I know I said a lot there, if you need to go back and re-listen to it, please do. And I really hope that you tell somebody to listen to it and you share the message, because that's what I gotta say. That's all I gotta say about that. And I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I fucking hate politics, okay? But it's the 4th of July episode, so I figured we should probably talk about it. And I get too worked up about it because it's all a bunch of shit. Now, let's move on. Let's talk about the fun stuff of the 4th of July. There's fireworks, and there's barbecues. Oh, God, I love this holiday. I was trying to think of some really good, 4th of July stories to tell. And man, I don't have a lot, but I do have one really good one, and I will share it with you right now. So, long time ago, I guess this must have been 15 years ago, something like that. We used to go hang out at one of my uncle's friend's house and shoot off fireworks. We did that for 3 years straight. And one of those years, I don't remember which one, we're lighting off fireworks. We had a whole bunch of them, man. And we used to do this all day. It was so much fun. There's nothing funner than lighting off your own fireworks, man. But I'm going over to light a artillery shell, right? And I see my uncle's boss sitting a firework down, and he's going to light the fuse. And I look at it, and I notice the fuse is like this long, which is the indicator of a artillery shell. And I said, hey, I think you're supposed to put that in the tube. As the sparks start flying, he lit it. And I was like, dude, you gotta put it in the tube. And he goes, run! And so me and him fucking bolt it. And I go, it seriously felt like a movie. It was like slow-mo. I was like, hit the deck! And we fucking dove and landed in the grass, and everybody's running for shelter, and it goes ba-boom right there in the yard. It looked pretty cool, and luckily nobody got hurt, but it was that was pretty funny. He felt pretty embarrassed about that, but I mean, like I said, nobody got hurt and no damage was done, so it was pretty funny. I just remember running, and it felt like slow motion in an action movie, and being like, hit the deck. That was fun. No, I miss doing that stuff, man. I mean, it's not too late to keep doing it, but I miss those specific parties we used to have. It was a lot of fun. But lest us not forget about the most iconic 4th of July tradition that there is. That, of course, is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Now, I'm recording this the day before the 4th, so I recorded this yesterday. So you can bet your ass that I'm currently watching the Nathan's hot dog contest as you're, well, probably not as you're watching this, but on the 4th, every year, man, I watch the Nathan's hot dog eating contest why not? How couldn't you, man? There's nothing more American than just shoveling dogs in your mouth, man. And let me tell you something. Joey Chestnut is my fucking hero, dude. No, dude, scratch that. Joey Chestnut is an American hero. That guy has won, I think, 12? He's won 12 of the last 13 hot dog contests. He's only lost one in 12, or in 13, out of 13 years. And he'll be at it again tomorrow. And you better fucking believe I'm going to be rooting for him. Before Joey Chestnut hit the scene, Kobayashi was the one running the show. And fucking Joey Chestnut brought the fucking mustard yellow belt back to America. America. Joey Chestnut is a fucking American icon. I'll tell you that right now. That dude slurps down more weens than Riley Reid, dude. He's like, that fucking dude sucks down more ween than Nicole Aniston and Riley Reid and Mia Khalifa combined. He's up there fucking sucking down weens like a fucking porn star. Joey Chestnut is my hero. And you better believe I'm going to be watching him win us another gold. Although it is kind of fun to watch and see if maybe he'll be dethroned. I'm pretty sure last year he won by like 13 or something crazy. Nobody was even close. They have a women's one too. I don't really know who. I don't follow that one as much. All I know is Joey Chestnut. Joey Chestnut belongs in the upper echelons he belongs in the same conversations as Michael Jordan, as Mike Tyson, as Jimmy Johnson, Tom Brady, Tiger Woods. Joey Chestnut is in the upper echelon of sports icons, if you call competitive eating a sport. But dude, they're still doing it. They're doing it tomorrow. Baseball? You ain't seeing baseball tomorrow. Basketball? No basketball. Not yet. Hockey? Hot dogs. It's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest. That's what's on tomorrow, man. American 4th of July traditions. Gotta keep them strong, man. Joey Chestnut. Go get him. Eat your heart out. Terrible joke. Okay. I can't believe it took me 4 episodes to talk about this, but here's my transition into this, okay? The first episode of King of the Hill I ever watched was a hot dog eating contest one. Bill gets involved in a hot dog eating contest, and we used to record episodes of The Simpsons, and for some reason we only recorded 1 episode of King of the Hill, and it was the one where they ate hot dogs. And that's not even what hooked me to the show. By the way, if you don't know, King of the Hill, my all-time favorite show. Yeah, that was the first episode I ever watched, was the hot dog eating contest one. And I can't believe it took me 4 episodes to talk about King of the Hill. I know the last episode I did a Hank Hill impersonation, which, by the way, immediately regretted all the choices and things I said. Because I could have gone with, "You bastard." One of my favorite. "I'm gonna kick your ass." One of my favorite lines. "Dale, it already gets to 100 degrees in the summer, and if it gets 1 degree hotter, I'm kicking your ass." Is there really a better show? I mean, of course. Everybody. I mean, I am literally the only person I know who is a #1 King of the Hill fan. And that's great. I love it. I love being different, dude. I don't want to be that guy who says, Game of Thrones is my all-time favorite show. There's so many of those. And don't get me wrong, Game of Thrones is amazing. But it ain't no King of the Hill. That show ran 13 seasons, all of them strong. There's not a season I don't like. Now, don't get me wrong, the first, 9 seasons are the best. And once you get past season 9, it starts getting me. But they're all good, man. Oh, I love that show. I don't know where I'm going to go with this as far as talking about it, but I love that show. Fuck. You know what? I also can't believe it's taken me 4 episodes to talk about sports. And of all things, the first sport I talk about is hot dog eating? Who would have saw that coming? If you had your money on that, you just made bank because the odds were heavily stacked against you in that one. Tell you what? Boy, I tell you what. How did I not say that in the fucking impersonations? How did I not? Boy, I tell you what. That boy ain't right. So I decided I needed to talk more sports, okay? And another sport you probably wouldn't expect me to talk about. Now, okay. I really want to talk about the UFC. Because they're the only ones who have, they're the only real sport that has consistently been going. And they're having some epic fights. Some of the best fights I've ever seen. Last week, I think it was last week, yeah. Dustin Poirier. Yeah, it was last Saturday. The fight between Dustin Poirier and, who did he fight? Dan Hooker was one of the best fights I have ever seen. If you go back and watch that, it was awesome. But not this weekend, but next weekend, oh, we got a stacked card, man. It's stacked. Kamaru Usman versus Burns for the welterweight title. Fuck yeah. Peter Yan versus Jose Aldo for the featherweight title? No. For the flyweight title. Bantamweight title. Fuck yeah. And then you have Volkanovski versus Holloway rematch for the featherweight title. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, so many good fights, man. Yeah. It's going to be a great card. Plus, Rose Namajunas versus Jessica Andrade. I thought that was going to be a title fight, but I blew it and I was wrong. It's just a fight, but it's a rematch fight, and that's going to be a good one. Rose is a bad bitch, dude. I love her. She fights out of Denver. She's a Team Elevation. But I'm going to save a lot of that talk for next week because the fight is next week, so I want to save some of that talk for next week. All I'm going to say is that's going to be a badass card. You better believe I'm going to be watching that shit. But here's another sport that hasn't stopped, and I'm calling it a sport. You can call it whatever you want. But pro wrestling, baby. Pro wrestling has not stopped. And man, I have such a weird relationship with pro wrestling. I used to love it, man. I was a huge WWE fan, and then WWE pulled a politics and got fucked off. Oh man, that's such a good roundabout thing too. You know what politics has become? Pro wrestling. That's basically what it's become. Now, here's what I want to say about pro wrestling. If you haven't watched AEW wrestling, get on it. If you're a pro wrestling fan, get on it. Because AEW is the shit. That's the best pro wrestling I've seen in a long ass time. Since the Attitude Era. And, yeah. AEW wrestling is the shit. And God. Okay. Of course it's fake, okay? Of course it's fake. Everyone knows that. But you have no idea. If you're an anti-pro wrestling fan, you have no idea how athletic these guys are. If you can sit and watch it, it's pure athleticism. And it's entertainment. It's not meant to be serious. I mean, yes, they do portray certain characters and certain, matches as very serious. Because to them, it is serious. It's entertainment, man. It's just, that's all it is. It's just entertainment. And if you can't get on board with that, man, you don't got imagination. It's all in pure fun. And those guys are athletic as fuck. And they put their bodies on the line, and people have died doing that shit. People have become paralyzed. If you don't know what you're doing in a wrestling ring, you can seriously get hurt. I wanted to be a wrestler. I was this close to moving to Denver to be a pro wrestler. That's how much I was into it, man. I really wanted to do it. And the only thing that stopped me was I inherited this house, and I couldn't leave. It was too good of an opportunity for me to abandon that. I got accepted. I went down there. I tried out for the it was called fuck, now I can't remember what it was called. Yeah, I can't remember. But it was down in Denver. They had a pro wrestling gym, and they would actually do like promotions. Like they would do shows and stuff like that. They'd train you how to do it, and then they'd build you a character, and you'd do a show, live shows and stuff. And yeah, I went down there. I tried out for them. I thought I did really good. I got to run the ropes, man. I got to do bumps. I got to, do some flips. And let me tell you, dude, running ropes fucking sucks. Like, it hurts. I had bruises all up on my On both ends, well, I guess it's just the one side. Right here on your, because that's where you got to hit the ropes. Man, that shit sucks, dude. I had bruises all up on there. Those ropes are serious. And but it was fun, man. I had a lot of fun just doing the tryout. And they called me a couple weeks later and told me that they wanted me to come down there. They had a place for me to stay, a place for me to work, and everything, man. And I would have done it. But, you know, that's just, sometimes that's not how life goes. Sometimes things change, and I don't regret not doing it. But I can tell you right now, if they had a local wrestling gym in my town, I'd be the first one in line. Because that shit, I would still do it. And obviously I'd have to get in better shape than I already am. Or than I currently am in, I should say. But, oh, you better fucking believe I would do that. Pro wrestling, man. Yeah. And I had my gimmick picked out and everything. I mean, I play the WWE games, and I create, all I'll do is I'll create characters, and there's a story mode you can do where you run them through all these, you know, you can pick a show and like build, there's scenes and there's matches, and you can like basically decide the story. You build a story, and you can do dialogue, and so I basically write wrestling TV. I don't do it anymore. I picked it up a couple months ago and was doing it again, but then I stopped doing it. So, but I seriously wrote like 3 years worth of television for my fake wrestling thing, and I have all these different characters, all these different personas. But mine, I'm gonna tell you who my wrestling persona would be. If I went pro wrestling right now, you'd be looking at Derek Frost, the serial chiller. That would be my persona. And there's 2 different styles I would either be. It depends on what they would want. I would either be like this crazy, like psycho, just like a serial killer, you know, but morph it to the pro wrestling aspect, or I'd be like an outlaw, like a cowboy style, because from Montana, so I figured that'd be kind of a cool throwback to the hometown if I was pro wrestler somewhere else. Oh man. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. I am a real American, fight for your right, fight for your life. How's that for a total comeback around, full circle? 4th of July, man. Normally I record these podcasts on Saturdays, but I'm recording it on a Friday because I wanted to get it out on the 4th. Episode 4 on the 4th, man. Fuck yeah. When I saw that was going to be the thing, I just couldn't believe it. It's like, it couldn't be any better. It couldn't be more perfect. Man. I hope all of you have an amazing 4th of July. I hope you all stay safe. Don't drink and drive. Watch out for one another. Yeah. One of my favorite holidays, man. Just everybody have fun. Love your family. And think about what I said, man. Seriously. I know I got worked up and I went on a big, long rant. But seriously. Think about the idea that I presented to you about being an independent and just labeling yourself an independent, because it frees you up and you're not part of a team anymore. You're on one team, Team America, and you're on your own team. You're your own person. You're an individual. You're not labeled to a team. I seriously mean that, and I truly think that's, if we all thought that way, we'd be in such a better spot, and we'd be so much more kinder to each other on the political spectrum. We wouldn't attack each other as much. And you're always going to have radicals on both sides, you know? That's just the way it is. And the media likes to blow all that up and make you believe that that everybody who's on the right is a racist and that everybody on the left is a fucking social justice warrior. That's not the case. You know that. I know that. Don't be that person. And don't be a media shill. Do not be that. That's for goddamn sure. Be free. And you know what? I thought about this too. I'm gonna leave you with this. We're gonna go out this way. I would be completely remiss if we were on if I ran a show called Life's a Garden and on the 4th of July episode I didn't say you're gonna stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you ain't got no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, Husker do's, Husker don'ts, cherry bombs, nips a daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser? Hey, happy Independence Day, everybody. And don't forget, life's a garden, man. Dig it.